Alright guys, what is up guys? It's OhioGameTalks back with another video. This is my week 4 picks. A 9-7 week for me. And better than last week, I will say that, but 26-22. This is not the best start I've had through 3 weeks, but hopefully it can get better because we get to understand, I guess, each and everything about every team. So yeah, a little bit of it's a little rough right now, but hopefully this is a better week for me, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get into the picks, and I'm gonna tell you why I think each team will win. So let's get started with Thursday Night Football. We got the Dallas Cowboys heading to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. So let's look at the Cowboys, man. A narrow loss to the Baltimore Ravens. They're gonna be hungry to redeem themselves. Dak Prescott played pretty well, especially in the fourth quarter. He threw for over 350 yards. The defense just let Derrick Henry run all over them. He had over 150 yards. But they're getting good contributions from their kicker, especially. I mean, he nailed a 65-yarder. And then you look at the Giants, man. Malik Neighbors, he continued to impress. He got 2 touchdowns against the Browns. Daniel Jones, however, is the offensive inconsistency on that team, man. I mean, struggled. I mean, their defense. I mean, they struggled in the fourth quarter, but they held their own throughout the entire game. And I think Watson threw one of the a pretty ball, and then I forgot who dropped it, but I saw some of the highlights. And he just kind of gave the game away. But you can expect the Cowboys offense to kind of shine against a shaky Giants defense that's playing pretty well so far, but I mean, especially after not allowing a touchdown, but a good performance against Cleveland. It is kind of iffy for this one, but usually on Thursday night, I tend to not go with the upset pick because, I mean, it's rare you get an upset now that I think about it. I mean, unless it's like week 1 or something. So I'm actually going to pick the Dallas Cowboys here. I'm not saying they're going to blow them out like they did last year in New York, but I definitely think they can make their mark. They're kind of in a level of desperation after 2 straight home losses, so I'm taking the Cowboys over the Giants in this one. Now we go to the Sunday slate game, guys. We got my game. We have the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Charlotte to play the Carolina Panthers. So we look at us, man. We're in panic mode now. After a 3rd straight loss, offense had 436 total yards against this Commanders defense, but the defense just did not do their thing. I mean, Jaden Daniels absolutely sliced us up. Literally. I mean, this game had no turnovers, no punts, and we lost at home in primetime. The defense is going to drastically improve, especially against the rejuvenation that the Panthers now have with Andy Dalton. He filled in for Bryce Young. He threw for 320 yards or something like that, and he threw 3 touchdown passes. He has a good connection with Deontay Johnson. He's emerging as a threat now in Carolina. Their defense is a little suspect, and I think that the Bengals can definitely put a lot of points on the board because their offense, so if we know anything about their offense, it's so back. But at the end of the day, man, the defense just amazes me. I'm going to save some for my preview, but I just want to get into this. The defense, how do they go like that? You just evaporate like that after your defense kept you in the first 2 games pretty much. The offense was pedestrian, and now you look at it, it's the other way around on Monday night. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm glad the offense finally woke up, but really, dude? How do you not get a single stop? You get a single stop on that Carolina or on that the Washington offense, you possibly win the game. That's what I don't like. But then we look at Carolina, like I said, their offense is clicking. They were, not doing well under Bryce Young, but they seem to have a rejuvenation factor. And, it is Andy Dalton's, I guess, quote-unquote, revenge game, even though he's played us 3 times on 3 different teams now. I think it was Dallas, New Orleans, and now Carolina. And then you look at, and Chicago, so 4 teams. And then you look at the I guess the revenge game on the Bengals side. I mean, it is Von Bell's return to Carolina, but the back's against the wall. I mean, the Bengals have to be desperate because if you win this game, you're 1-3. So that gives you some, I guess, confidence that we're 1-3, same as last year. But I don't know, man. It just amazes me how we're in this position. I can't believe we're 0-3. Especially the first time since 2019, and we obviously know how that ended. Cincinnati Bengals, this is your last chance. I'm going to pick the Bengals to win this game. I think that they're just too desperate, and I just don't think they'll go down and be 0-4. I feel like this is like a desperation game. You have to win this. I really don't know what to say if we lose this game. I mean, I would just cancel the season if I'm the Bengals. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose this game because, I mean, it is the Panthers. Like, they've got a lot of rejuvenation, going from them, especially after last week. A lot of momentum against the Raiders, who are not a great team, but still. But Bengals is your last chance. I'm picking you guys to win only because of the desperation that you guys are going to have in this game. So give me the Bengals over the Panthers. Sunday, another 1 p.m. slate. We have the New Orleans Saints at the Atlanta Falcons. So we look at the Saints. Their offense did a complete 360 against the Eagles. Derek Carr, he threw a bad pick. His inability to handle the pressure was kind of a cause for concern. That's what I thought would happen before the season, but obviously they were off to an amazing start. And then you look at the Falcons. I mean, they lost to the Chiefs, yes, but the Chiefs got bailed out yet again, by a DPI, but a missed DPI. But Kirk Cousins, he continues to build chemistry with these receivers. Darnell Mooney, Drake London, they were good spots for Atlanta. The Saints are struggling offensively, but this looks like a game where the Falcons can, hopefully shine. And, look for Cousins to kind of be desperate, especially after that tough loss. The Falcons coming off a good win in Philly. You can expect them to show some desperation. They can control the game clock, hopefully, at home. And I think they have a good chance of winning this game. And I think both teams are obviously very desperate. So I'm kind of in a doubtful space here. But seeing how the Falcons look, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons to win over the New Orleans Saints because I just feel like they're just too obviously upset by that loss. I just think they're, obviously they're at home, and I think it's a division rival. I just don't see how they drop this game. So I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons to win at home. Next up, we go to Houston. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. The Texans, a humbling 34-7 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. CJ Stroud, he was just overwhelmed by that defense. He was very shaky. The Texans defense just fell apart. Sam Darnold threw for 4 touchdowns. Jacksonville, on the other hand, they got even more speed. They got 47-10 rocked by the Buffalo Bills. Trevor Lawrence looked like a rookie, and that's just kind of. I'm not saying he's not good, but I just think he's a little overrated. I hope he's motivated to bounce back, but Jacksonville's defense is going to have to step up here, man, and I just don't see how they get the job done. Actually, this is kind of an easy pick. I'm not going to make this a lock of the week because it's a divisional game, so I can expect, but I just think Stroud needed a little bit of humbling, and, the Texans, they seem pretty hungry coming off a win. I know a lot of people are kind of annoyed by Stroud and his talking on Micah Parsons' podcast, but so I think that this week, this loss will be good for him. It's kind of like you're on your high horse a little bit, and then, hopefully you get a taste of humble pie, and then you can, build off that, and then your career can get jump-started. But, yeah, I'm picking the Texans, man, to get the job done over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, yeah, not a lock, but I feel pretty good about this one. Next up, we go to New York. We have the Denver Broncos heading to MetLife Stadium to play the New York Jets. So the Broncos, Bo Nix, he picked up his first win. Great composure he showed, but the Jets defense they had 3 sacks, I believe, last week. And they should make life difficult for the rookie, man. I think it was Will McDonald who had 2 sacks. And Rodgers, he's not returning to old form, but he's definitely being what the Jets can expect him to be. And he's doing what he can, and he found his rhythm against the Patriots last week. So Rodgers' experience in the Jets defense, I think it's going to be a lot for Denver to handle, and I think that Denver should feel really good coming into this game. I'm not going to sleep on that Denver defense. They obviously shut down. What's it called? I'm sorry, I blacked out for a minute. They shut down the Tampa Bay Bucs. They just could not. They just stifled Baker Mayfield and that Bucs offensive line. But I think that the momentum coming into this game is a little stronger for New York. So I think that the Rodgers experience will matter in this game, and I'm going to take the home team to win here. I think that the defense is going to be a lot for the Denver to handle. So yeah, I'm going to pick the New York Jets to win over the Broncos. Next up, we go to Lambeau Field. We have the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Let's look at the Vikings, man. Sam Darnold was all world. He threw 4 touchdowns, obviously. Their defense looked like one of the best in the league so far. Packers defense is also firing on all cylinders, though. I mean, Malik Willis, he showed how much of a dual threat he really is. I mean, I think he rushed for like 50 yards. He threw for over 200, obviously. So, Jair Alexander had a great pick six last week as well. So, they look pretty good coming into this game, man. I mean, the Packers, they've been firing on all cylinders. And obviously they beat the Tennessee Titans pretty damn good. And I think Green Bay, obviously with them firing on all cylinders, Minnesota's undefeated too. So I think you can expect them to obviously have a lot of momentum coming against a hated rival. So it's going to be an interesting game to see how this unfolds. But honestly, guys, this is my upset of the week. I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers to win. A lot of momentum, and they're also playing, obviously, against a rival. I think they're the home team, and this is kind of a when-in-doubt go home team. But it's also like, I trust Malik Willis and that Packers offense to kind of not bring the Vikings down to earth, I should say, but they definitely can humble them as well. Kind of like, I'm not saying it's going to be like what they did to Houston, but I think it's going to be a game where the Packers come out top. So I'm going to take the Packers over the Minnesota Vikings in this one. Next up, we go to Indianapolis. We have the Indianapolis Colts hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's look at the Steelers, man. Justin Fields is thriving. I mean, he completed, I think 70% of his passes, 25 of 31, 32 or something like that. And then they got a win over the Chargers. Their defense, obviously, they had 5 sacks last week over the Chargers. And I think Herbert got hurt when it was 10-10. They don't look amazing in those victories, but they're still doing enough to win. The Colts, however, they lean on Jonathan Taylor, man. They got a win over the Bears. Jonathan Taylor is just a great force on that team, man. Anthony Richardson was inconsistent. He had 2 bad interceptions. Steelers' defense is probably going to stifle the hell out of Indianapolis, so I'm being honest with you, because they just seem like a very hungry team, rejuvenated team. Last year, obviously, Indy got the best of them, but overall, Pittsburgh just had the edge by a lot. I mean, the Colts are up there for the team they probably own the most. I mean, you look at them, it could be Cleveland, and hate to say it, but it could be us as well historically. But yeah, Steelers, they look pretty good. Colts also, I mean, they got the win over Chicago, but Justin Fields, I mean, part of me is happy to see he's doing well because obviously he's a Buckeye, and I'm, a huge Buckeye fan, but it just has to be in Pittsburgh, doesn't it? Pittsburgh's going to continue to grind out, and I hate to say this, they're going to be 4-0. They're going to be 4-0 for the first time since 2020. I just think that their defensive dominance is going to continue. As long as TJ Watt's on that defense, they're always going to be a force, and the impact that he has on the game is going to be massive. Steelers are 4-0, in my opinion, after this week. I hate you, Pittsburgh. But, they get a win. You got to give them credit, man. I mean, the Ravens and Browns, and I hate to say it, but the Bengals also, I mean, they've just not been taking advantage of their opportunities. Steelers have. They've taken care of business. Got to give them credit, man. They have a quarterback, and, unfortunately, they don't have Matt Canada. So, they're a new team, and you can expect a lot better production than last year. So, give me the Steelers over the Colts in this one. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Chicago Bears. Taking a look at the Bears, man. Taking a look at the Bears. I mean, they obviously lost to the Colts. Caleb Williams, he struggled with 2 turnovers. He did not play well. He needs a little bit of humble pie. And, he needs to take advice from even C.J. Stroud. I mean, C.J. Stroud's an all-pro. Yeah, if I'm Caleb Williams, you should take advice from anybody you can get at this point. Then we look at the Rams, man. He had Matthew Stafford, he led an incredible comeback against the 49ers. He threw for 110 yards in the fourth quarter. They're just off to a slow start, and the Rams just got the best of them. So, got to give them credit. They're finding ways to win. I think that's one thing you got to give the Rams a lot of credit for. They're finding ways to win games, and I think they have no reason to not do it here. I'm going to pick the Rams to win over the Chicago Bears. I think Caleb Williams is going to make mistakes, and I think that Matthew Stafford can definitely take advantage of it. So I'm taking the Rams in this one over the Chicago Bears. Next up, we go to Tampa Bay. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield got sacked 7 times in Tampa's loss to the Denver Broncos. The Bucs defense was just atrocious, though. Bo Nix carved them up. The Eagles, they rebounded against from that bad loss against the Falcons. They got a 15-12 win over the Saints. Saquon Barkley did his thing. He rushed for over 140 yards. Defense absolutely stepped up against Derek Carr. C.J. Gardner-Johnson had some comments about the Saints. He said, like, Derek Carr's their quarterback. They're not going to go far. Philadelphia's defense, you have to think that they're going to slow down that Bucs offensive line. So this took me a long time to think about because I think that Tampa is desperate here, especially, and I think that I just don't know if they're going to lose back-to-back home games because I'm not ready to say that yet. So this is very subject to change. Both these teams I have a lot of faith in, at least right now, because of the desperation that they'll probably have. I might change my pick, but I'm going to pick the Tampa Bay Bucs to win over the Eagles. I have this because I went with my first gut. I chose them because I really thought that they could have, I just don't see them losing back-to-back home games. I did not expect them to lose last week. They were actually my lock. So yeah, it's tough for me to say that they're definitively gonna win this game, obviously, because Eagles are a pretty good team too. So it's tough, but I'm gonna pick the Bucs just because they're the home team, and when in doubt, I go the home team. Next up, we have the New England Patriots at the San Francisco 49ers. So the 49ers, I just talked about them. They blew a 21-7 lead. Very disappointing, obviously. Bad loss to the Rams. They're off to a very slow start. And, Brock Purdy, he's been playing pretty well, I'd say. They've been doing what they can. I was shocked that they lost. I thought that they were going to come all the way back and win the game, especially against a rival that they've been playing very well against, against the Rams. So I didn't watch much of the game, but I'm not ready to say that they're a fraudulent team because I know a lot of people are waiting on the 49ers' downfall. But then we look at the Patriots. They got absolutely clobbered by the New York Jets. They're 1-2. Yeah, they seem a little bit. They seem back to their old, or I guess their last year form. After that Week 1 win over us, they just feel like they're kind of down to earth, and even beneath it, I guess you could say. I could just expect a level of desperation from I guess both teams, but especially the Niners being the home team against a very inferior opponent. This is my lock of the week. I'm picking the 49ers to win over the Patriots. I don't see how they drop this game. They're too good to go down 1-3. Against the New England Patriots at home. So I'm picking the 49ers in this one pretty easily, and that's my lock of the week. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders at the Arizona Cardinals from Glendale, Arizona. We have the Washington Commanders, man. Everybody knows their offense had a damn near perfect game in Cincinnati against us. Jaden Daniels put on a spectacular performance. He had over 130 QBR, I believe. So kudos to him in that offense. Terry McLaurin, I have no idea how he made that last catch. I think it was, but whatever. But that still pisses me off. I thought that was going out of bounds. I still don't know how that guy caught it. It's just insane how good that guy is, man. But anyway, what a throw by Jaden Daniels that was. But their defense also was obviously suspect. They had against a really good offense. They didn't force a single turnover or punt. Neither did we on that offense. So both offenses were just on their game. Then we look at Arizona, man. They obviously, they lost to Detroit. Obviously, they were a little bit desperate. The Detroit Lions were a little bit desperate coming off, a tough loss to the Tampa Bay Bucs. But it's just you could expect a little bit of desperation from Arizona. Being at home, and also I think they saw. While the offense was spectacular for Washington, they saw that defense was also very suspect as well. I think that both these teams definitely have a lot of confidence. Arizona being the home team, and obviously Washington with that amazing win. There's no Cliff Kingsbury to stifle Kyler Murray's growth anymore. Obviously, he did his thing, in Washington. I got to give him credit, but, he just didn't work with Kyler Murray, in Arizona. So this took me a while to think about. Wanted to pick Washington coming off their win. Obviously, they have a lot of momentum. Arizona, they're the home team. They're playing with some desperation, especially losing last week at home. I'm picking the home team here. I'm going to pick the Cardinals, man. I just think that, that Kyler Murray against that defense is going to do, his thing. I think that Jaden Daniels is going to definitely do his thing. But I think that Arizona at home is a little bit desperate. I think that the Cardinals will probably make one more stop, and that's just what it's going to be like. So I'm picking the Arizona Cardinals to win at home over the Commanders. Next up, we go to SoFi Stadium. We have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. So we look at the Chiefs, man. They got bailed out by the refs, a 22-17 win over the Atlanta Falcons. A really, really good stop on 4th and inches. Obviously, a terrible run play by called by Atlanta. Patrick Mahomes he's developing good chemistry with Rashid Rice. Had a great game. He had over 100 yards last Sunday night, and then unfortunately, the Chargers, man, they took a hit when Justin Herbert was injured. Their offense just sputtered without him. I don't know. It wasn't Eastland Slick or whatever. I forgot what his name was, but I think might have been like Heineke. Yeah, it might have been Heineke against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but their offense just sputtered without him, and they got negative yards in the second half. So I don't know if he's gonna play, but even with a gimpy Herbert or like a no Herbert, obviously I just think that the Chiefs have too much firepower, and I think the defense is gonna control the game. So I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win over the Los Angeles Chargers. Not a lot because it is a divisional game, and the Chargers defense is still very good. But I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to go to 4-0 on the season. Next up, we go to Las Vegas. We have the Cleveland Browns at the Las Vegas Raiders. Deshaun Watson's struggles absolutely continue, guys. The offense just faltered against the Giants. 8 sacks allowed. The Raiders also had a bad game. They lost to the Panthers 36-22. Gardner Minshew was just ineffective. I think he got benched for Aiden O'Connell, if I'm not mistaken. But both teams are really struggling. The Browns, their offensive line is an absolute mess. I mean, Watson you can blame, but that offensive line is doing him no favors one bit. Expect the Raiders to bounce back with an improved offensive effort, being at home here. But that Browns defense is also very stifling, and I just think that they're due for a bounce-back win against a team that they very well can beat. So I hate to do this, but I'm picking the Cleveland Browns to actually win over the Las Vegas Raiders. You can expect a valiant effort from that defense, and I think that at the end of the day, hate to say it, but that offense is going to outperform Las Vegas by a play or two. So I'm picking the Browns here. Of course, I want the Raiders to win, but I'm rolling with the Cleveland Browns here. Now we go to Sunday night game. This is the game of the week easily, in my opinion. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills head to Lamar Jackson's house to play the Baltimore Ravens. Josh Allen, man, unstoppable in Buffalo's 47-10 rout of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He threw for 307 yards, 4 touchdowns. How about Khalil Shakir? He had over 70 yards. Damar Hamlin, his first career interception. The Ravens, they almost choked their double-digit win over the Dallas Cowboys. Lamar Jackson kind of bailed them out at the end there, and then their defense, they kind of fell apart in the second half, but they did what they could, especially in the first half against that Cowboys offense. But Buffalo's offense, how about that, man? I know they were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, but that was just an impressive showing. It's tough for me to say if they're going to stop Derrick Henry because, obviously being at home in Baltimore, primetime game, I think it's definitely a chance for him to also make his mark like he did. I mean, he's been doing the first 3 games, so he's done a great job of that. His worst game was obviously against the Raiders. We had over 150 yards last week, so look for Baltimore to kind of feed the ground, and then Lamar Jackson being a dual threat like he always is. That defense of the Ravens can step up. This actually was a hard one for me to decide because I think both these teams are very good, obviously, regardless of their record. I mean, anybody can look good after 3 weeks. It's just about how you come out and continue on the season. So this one actually took me a while to decide, man. But Buffalo's just the hotter hand right now. I can see the Ravens very well winning, but I'm gonna pick the Buffalo Bills here. I think they're just too hot right now and too explosive not to win this game. Baltimore falls to 1-3, and they'll head to Cincinnati to play us afterwards. But again, I could see them winning this game and going to 2-2. But for this one, guys, I'm gonna pick the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, it's a tough one, but it actually is very tough because both these teams are very good. Ravens are at home, and they also have some desperation. They're 1-2, so they seem locked in. Buffalo, they can hopefully continue at least for them they can hopefully continue the momentum that they have right now. So I'm picking the Buffalo Bills over the Baltimore Ravens. And we go to the Monday first game, guys. We got the Tennessee Titans at the Miami Dolphins. Miami's offense just collapsed without Tua. I think it was Skylar Thompson that started. Not sure, but they only had 200 yards, and they lost 24-3 against the Seattle Seahawks. The Titans are coming off a disappointing performance as well. They let Malik Willis, their former quarterback, run all over them and obviously pass all over them. And they lost 30-14. If Tua returns, I think the Dolphins' offense can return to form. Even without him, I feel like they're due for a offensive bounce back, I guess, if you will. But this their potential would too, obviously. But the Titans defense, I'm not going to sleep on them either. I mean, they could definitely take advantage of their quarterback situation, and Miami's offensive firepower. I think this gives them a slight advantage. I think you look for Tyler Kill to have a big game, and they're the home team, so I'm going to pick the Miami Dolphins to win here. I didn't really have much doubt, but it's also like, I mean, they're the home team. That's kind of like the icing on the cake, if you will, because I think that Tennessee's defense is still good. I just think that Miami's going to outperform, and that's not really surprising, considering the situation the Titans are in right now. So I'm going with the Miami Dolphins to win. And we got the last slate of Monday night game. I don't know why this is 1. It's supposed to say 8:15. But anyway, we got the Detroit Lions hosting the Seattle Seahawks. So Detroit's defense, they came up big time in that win over Arizona. Aiden Hutchinson had an incredible game. They allowed 1 third down conversion against the Arizona Cardinals, guys. 1. Seattle, they racked up 7 sacks in that 24-3 win over the Miami Dolphins. Derek Hall led the charge. Zach, is it Charbonnet? I'm so bad at pronouncing that guy's name. But yeah, I think he had 91 yards, on the ground. So that's kudos to them. Obviously, they're playing very well. They're undefeated. And both defenses are playing very well. Lions, though, they're the home team. And I think that this is a statement win. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle wins, just because it's they look very good coming into this game, man. Anybody can look good the first 3-4 weeks, but you got to give them credit. Some teams take care of business, whether that be the Seahawks or the Steelers, the Chiefs, obviously. Some teams don't. The Bengals, the Jaguars, the Titans, they're all 0-3. And all of them are expected to be a lot better. But anyway, I think that Detroit, I mean, look at their defense to kind of, obviously they controlled the game like they did last week with their running a game. David, I think they held Jared Goff had under 200 yards passing, but David Montgomery had over 100 yards. The running attack, and I think that their defense can make some stops on Seattle's offense, which is also very good. I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba, DK Metcalf, they're turning into one of the best duos in the NFL. So I'm rolling with the home team here. I'm going to pick the Lions to win. I think that this is going to be a very good game. Wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way, obviously, but I think that Detroit being the home team, they obviously have the slight edge here. So this was tough, but I'm going with the Lions over the Seahawks here. And that'll do it, guys. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. Like I said, I'm sorry if this was a little late, but, like I said, I think it's... Regardless, I mean, I'm getting this out at the same time. I'm recording this Wednesday morning, so I'm probably going to post in the afternoon. But anyway, guys, this is my picks. Kind of subject to change because some of these are actually from some tough games. So I could maybe change my mind. But as of now, these are my picks as of Wednesday. And we'll go from there. But you guys take care. Hopefully I have a better week in Pick'em. And hopefully we get a first dub. Come on, Bengals. Beat the Panthers, please. Anyway, you guys take care. I'm going.